Today we're looking at the best places for veterans to live. If you're a veteran, married to one, a child of one, this video is for you. This is also one of those videos that I get requests for all the time. If you don't know, most veterans come out of service with some form of injury or disability. I saw one report that said 75%, I saw another one that said 90%. Now, if you do have those injuries or disabilities and you go through the process, you end up getting benefits after you leave military service. So being in a place that has easy access to veteran facilities is a big deal. That's normally what makes a place good for veterans. Along with that, some states and cities give veterans additional benefits and breaks, so to speak. Being a veteran, I always avoided this subject. I really don't know why, but it just kind of feels weird to make it. I also think it won't interest as many people as my normal videos do, so it kind of hurts the channel. If a video doesn't do good and it doesn't get many views, the next few never seem to gain traction. I'm sort of looking at this one like a public service announcement. I had an Army buddy pass away last month from cancer, and one of our last Facebook back and forths, he asked me why I've never made this video, and that kind of spurred me on to wanting to do it. It's not like it was his last request or anything like that. It's just like one of our last conversations. So now I feel obligated. If you could leave a comment, hit the like button, and maybe share it on your Twitter or Facebook so the video doesn't take a dive, that'd be great and much appreciated. That being said, today we explore the best cities for veterans and why. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Washington, D.C. I think it would be really weird if Washington, D.C. wasn't on this list. I mean, it's the nation's capital, and without the United States military, we wouldn't have a nation's capital. Now, Washington, D.C. offers quite a few things for veterans. They have a retirement community that's available for enlisted, retirees, and veterans. They offer property tax exemptions for when a veteran property owner hits 65 or is disabled. They can apply for property tax relief. That would reduce their property tax by 50%. Washington, D.C. also has an employment preference program for veterans. So if you have two people that are equally qualified, let's say they have the same education and work experience, the job will go to the veteran first. Of course, you had to serve at least 100 consecutive days on active duty and have an honorable or general discharge. Those are the two you want. You want honorable or general discharge. If you get any of the other ones, usually you did something wrong and you lose all your benefits. Now, this is another big one that a lot of National Guardsmen take advantage of. They have scholarship reimbursement. The Washington, D.C. National Guard program will reimburse up to $1,500 per semester. The only reason Washington, D.C. isn't higher on this list, like, number 5 or 4 or something like that, they don't have as many facilities as some of the other places on this list. Number 9, Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio's not the greatest place to live, but if you're a veteran, it's a pretty solid place to live. The Dayton VA Medical Center is one of the 3 oldest healthcare facilities in what is now the Department of Veterans Affairs, and it's a good-sized facility. The other 2 are in Wisconsin and Maine. This medical center accepted its first patients in 1867 and has been serving veterans for more than 150 years. In 2021, the Dayton VA Medical Center had 2,576 employees who served the healthcare needs of 40,000 veterans. The Dayton VA Medical Center is also a research hospital, and they are researching TBI, which is traumatic brain injury, prosthetics and amputation care, PTSD, pain management, and mental health issues. Ohio also has a lot of different programs to help veterans, like crisis counseling. They have a homestead exemption. In order to qualify for this exemption, you must be a veteran of the armed forces of the United States, including reserve components. If you go to your local county auditor, you could apply for that. But one of the best things about Dayton is their VA facility. Number 8, Atlanta, Georgia. If you don't know, the entire state of Georgia is a military state. Fort Benning, Georgia, near Columbus, is one of the largest training facilities in the United States military system. You have a handful of Air Force bases. You have the U.S. Army's Fort Stewart down by Savannah. Besides all those bases, which veterans get to go on and do their shopping and use the hospital there, Atlanta has one of the largest VA facilities in the nation, along with a dozen or so VA clinics. So they got you covered. Atlanta is also home to Vetlanta. It's a club operated exclusively for veteran social and business networking and community services. Atlanta is also ranked 3rd for the most veteran-friendly jobs in the nation. Number 7, Tampa, Florida. Tampa is another place that has some really good VA medical facilities, including the James A. Haley Veterans Hospital, which opened in 1972, and it was named for James Andrew Haley. He was a congressman that served Florida from 1953 to 1977. The VA Tampa healthcare system has approximately 5,000 employees. 30% of those are veterans. Every year, VA Tampa healthcare system provides primary and specialty healthcare services for more than 100,000 veterans living in the 4 counties in Central Florida. Tampa is also known for its retiree friendliness and military discounts. They also have MacDill Air Force Base, which, like I said, if you're retired military, you can go on the base and do all your shopping, and they usually have good hospitals on bases. If you have a certain amount of disability, they rate your disability by percentage that you're disabled, and if you have a certain level, you have access to that stuff too. Number 6, Des Moines, Iowa. Did you know nearly 40% of Iowa's employers prefer to hire veterans? Des Moines kind of prides itself on how they treat their veterans. They say they are dedicated to continued support of active military and veterans. Des Moines is an inclusive place for local service men and women, whether veterans, active duty military, or reservists. That's what they say on their city's website. This is also another place that veterans get the job before other people do. They have a ton of different facilities for veterans. Bunker Labs, Camp Dodge, which it's Iowa National Guard base, and it offers many amenities, including Veterans Affairs facilities, museums, youth programs, family support resources, and a lot more. They also have this thing called Home Base Iowa. This is one-of-a-kind program that provides veterans and transition service members and their families with resources, including employment, education, and other continued services. Des Moines also has the VA Central Iowa healthcare system. Now, I was looking for this program that I thought Iowa had. A lot of states have this where you can go to community college or state colleges for free if you're a veteran or in the National Guard or something like that. I could find nothing on Iowa, and that kind of shocks me because Iowa's the type of state that would do that, and you know what, Des Moines in Iowa. If I'm wrong on that one, I couldn't find it on their website, so if they do have a program like that, they need to be a little more forward with it. But if I am wrong and anyone knows anything about that one, please let me know in the comment section below. Number 5, Syracuse, New York. Other than being cold, Syracuse is a great place for veterans to live, especially if you're a veteran that likes shoveling snow. Syracuse is ranked number 3 for the most VA health facilities per 10,000 vets in the nation. Syracuse, New York has a program called Syracuse Serves, and it's there to help military families and military-connected families navigate the care system. You also have Syracuse University, which has a bunch of different programs to make college affordable for veterans. Syracuse University is trying to be like the #1 college for veterans or university for veterans. In November of 2021, they opened up a $62 million veterans center. Now, the hospital they do have there for veterans in Syracuse is pretty big. And even back when I was in the military, I always heard that this area of New York was a great place for veterans. They got Fort Drum about an hour north of Syracuse and a few other smaller military facilities in the area. Number 4, St. Louis, Missouri. The entire state of Missouri's always been kind of known as a great place for the military. They have one of the larger training facilities called Fort Leonard Wood, which is southwest of St. Louis. Now, obviously, St. Louis has some pretty good military facilities. You have a VA medical center downtown called, they used to call it Cochrane when I was in the military, but it's actually called the VA Medical Center John Cochrane Division. Down on the south side of St. Louis on the Mississippi River, you have the Jefferson Barrack VA Hospital, which is another place that's a pretty good size. Besides all the VA stuff, you also have the Salvation Army's Homeless Veterans Service Program and the Veterans Administration in St. Louis. They offer safe havens for veterans while they work and get their lives back on track after being homeless, which this is something we need in every single major city. It is alarming how many homeless people are actually veterans. This all takes place in a $9 million 3-story building that houses 48 single apartments for both male and female veterans. Veterans staying at the facility ideally will leave with a job, money, and savings, and a home to call their own, not just having to stay at this VA hospital thing. And the entire state of Missouri just has a whole bunch of different programs for veterans, and that's why St. Louis is number 4 on this list. Number 3, Miami, Florida. Yeah, believe it or not, Miami is a pretty good place for veterans. There's a ton of veterans living in Miami. Miami is ranked 5th in the nation for mental health counselors for veterans. They have the Bruce W. Carter VA Medical Center, which opened in 1968. It's on 26.3 acres in downtown Miami. That's some expensive real estate. I bet the one in Los Angeles, which Los Angeles isn't on this list, I bet their property where they have the VA hospital and the VA complex, I bet that's a little more expensive. It's not too far from Beverly Hills. It's in West LA amongst like $4 million homes in the area, you know? And then there's just this massive property. VA Miami's healthcare system provides primary and specialty healthcare services to about 63,000 veterans in 3 South Florida counties, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Monroe. The Miami VA health system operates a comprehensive behavioral health program focusing on the mental health care of the veterans. I also read they're one of the leaders when it comes to spinal cord injuries and rehabilitation. Number 2, Salt Lake City. This one sort of surprises me. I've never really known Utah to be a military-friendly place. I mean, I don't think they have, other than National Guard and reserves, I think they have a test range. I can't think of any bases, and I kind of looked it up and I couldn't find any. Not casting any shade on the National Guard of Utah, it's just I don't think they have any real regular Army or Air Force military bases. But here Salt Lake City is at number 2. Salt Lake City is ranked number 1 in the nation for veteran-friendly jobs. Salt Lake City has the George E. Wallen VA Medical Center and 10 community-based outpatient clinics. That medical center also has a 72-room home for veterans in transition called Homeless to Hopeful. And they also have the Fisher House where families can go stay while their veteran loved one receives treatment at the hospital. So if they got to stay there a week or 2 or whatever, they've got a nice little place to stay. That facility completed 703,000 outpatient visits in 2021. Overall, I mean, not just Salt Lake City, but Utah is kind of known for being helpful. I mean, they're called the Beehive State, not because they got a bunch of beehives, because they work together like in a beehive. It's kind of their thing. They help each other. Even though, like I said, they don't have any big military bases, I could see Salt Lake City and Utah in general being a great place to help anyone, especially veterans. So this one makes sense. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget to help out this video and make sure you leave a like and a comment, share it if you can, watch it twice if you want, and help it out because this video will help someone. It may not be you, but it will help someone find where they need to go. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Providence, Rhode Island. Out of nowhere, Rhode Island shows up. Who saw this one coming? I didn't. I had no idea Rhode Island was a good place for veterans. I know they're a great place if you're needing insurance. I know they got a lot of insurance providers there. Didn't think the veteran thing was strong here, but here they are. They're ranked number 1 in the most VA health facilities per 10,000 veterans. They're ranked 2nd in the nation for the most veteran-friendly jobs. The VA Providence healthcare system is one of the leading health center systems serving veterans in the VA New England healthcare system. The Providence healthcare system has about 150 board certified physicians. This is amazing because Rhode Island's not that big and Providence, a good sized city, it's just not one of the giant ones. Providence VA Medical Center offers 32 subspecialty clinics to meet the needs of veterans. And their research programs they have there and their projects total more than $20 million in funding. Providence, Rhode Island also has the most VA health facilities, PTSD programs, substance use disorder programs per 10,000 veterans. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope some of you got some information out of it. It's not our normal type of thing, but I hope it helps someone. Have a great day. Be nice to each other.